Hello and welcome everyone, this is Minu at AngloLink. Today's lesson is going to focus on just one verb. It's a verb that I find to be challenging for most of my students, and as you have seen, is the verb to get. To get has three main meanings, and it's also added to the verbs to have and to have to insist on the ideas of possession and obligation. It also forms part of many phrasal verbs and some expressions. So in this video we're going to review all these usages, and by the end of the lesson you will have a clear idea of what get means and when and how to use it. So when you're ready, we can begin.
Right then, the verb to get. As I mentioned in the introduction, the verb to get has three main meanings. The first one is to receive. The second is to indicate a change. And the third one is to bring, buy, or find something. It's also added to the verbs to have and to have to, without changing their meaning. It's also used as part of many phrasal verbs, and finally as part of some expressions. Right then, let's look at the first meaning, to receive something. In this case, it's usually followed by a concrete or abstract noun. For example, to get a present, to get a letter, to get a call, to get a promotion, or to get an apology. The second meaning is to indicate a change. In other words, it means to become, and in this case it's followed by an adjective or a comparative adjective. For example, to get angry, to get hot, to get sick, to get calm. The adjective can also be the past participle of a verb. For example, to get tired, to get excited, to get lost, or to get stuck. Or it can be a comparative adjective. For example, to get taller, to get better, to get more interesting. Note that when become is followed by a noun or a superlative adjective, you cannot use get as a synonym. For example, to become a teacher, or to become an issue, or to become the best. You cannot use get in these expressions. Okay, let's look at the third meaning. To bring, to buy, to find. You will have seen the verb get in expressions like, may I get you a drink? That means, may I bring you a drink? I need to get some milk. That means, I need to buy some milk. And I couldn't get any information, meaning I couldn't find any information. Right, let's look at the fourth usage of the verb get. As I mentioned before, it's added to the verbs to have and to have to insist on the ideas of possession and obligation. Let's look at possession. And remember that it does not change the meaning. For example, I have a question. It's the same as I've got a question. In the question form, do you have a minute? You can say, have you got a minute? Or in the negative form, they don't have a car. It's the same as they haven't got a car. The same applies to have to, with the meaning of obligation. She has to work late. It's the same as she's got to work late. In the question form, do you have to go? You can also say, have you got to go? And in the negative form, we don't have to stay. Or, we haven't got to stay. Right then, let's look at get as part of some phrasal verbs. Here are some common ones. To get up. That's to leave your bed. To get on. You can get on a bus, a plane, a train, a bike, or a horse. And the opposite is to get off. For a car or a taxi, it's to get into. And the opposite is to get out of. To get on with someone means to have a good relationship with them. To get over an illness, a shock, or a problem is to overcome it or to recover from it. To get to a place is to arrive at a place. And to get by is to manage with minimum resources. Now let's look at get as part of some expressions. I've chosen 6 for you. Here's the first one. To get it. That means to understand something. For example, I don't get it. What's your point? The next expression is to get it right or to get it wrong. That means to do or answer something correctly or incorrectly. For example, I didn't get the last question right. I got it wrong. Let's look at the third expression, which is to get down to business or to get down to work. It means to start working. For example, as everyone is here, we can get down to business. Let's look at another one. To get somewhere. That means to achieve some success. For example, we are making good progress. We're getting somewhere. The next one. To get off to a good or a bad start. That means to start something well or badly. For example, the project has got off to a really good start. And the final example of an expression with get is to get going, which means to begin to leave. For example, it's getting late. We must get going. Right then, that's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comments section below if you found it useful. And also let us know what topics you would like us to cover in our video lessons for you. You can also go to our website, anglolink.com, for more help with learning English. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye now!